Hey guys, it's George. Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be rating and reviewing the red carpet fashion from the Asia Artists Awards 2021. This was on Thursday, 2 days ago. I'm here for these looks. I mean, there was clearly a memo sent out that we're going to be giving up monochromatic vibes. You guys know I love black and white, so there's some fire show-stealing looks in the selection. Also some ones that are a bit like, girl. If you are new to this style of video or my channel, hello, welcome. What I'm gonna be doing is reviewing the red carpet looks, breaking them down, talking about silhouettes, cuts, designers, fabrics, all of that good stuff. And then as it's a review, I'll be rating each look out of 10. If it is a group, it will be the collective look. If it is an individual, it will be based on the individual. And since we're at the Asia Artists Awards, let's use 10 black carts as our rating system. Just a little bit about my fashion background before we get into it. I studied fashion design at university and specialised in menswear, and then I went on to work in the fashion industry for 4 years where I worked with affordable brands, contemporary designers, and British heritage brands. I'm just going to apologise now for the ever-changing lighting. It's one of those classic days here in the UK where it's bright sunshine and there's just clouds everywhere, so it's constantly changing. It drives me insane. Starting off with aespa, one of my favourite groups at the moment, and this has to be one of my favourite looks from the red carpet. All black, different textures. It's just good, it's luxe, and they're giving us that classic aespa high-low moment where it's completely balanced. We've got two, Giselle and Ning Ning, who are pretty much completely covering their legs, and then we've got Winter and Karina, who are giving us that little pop of leg. I know Winter's comes down to her mid-calf, but it's sheer, so we can see through it, and we can see that shorter short underneath. What is so beautiful about these looks is that every single member has a completely different cut, a different style. We've got all the different textures of the fabrics together on the carpet. We've got leather, we've got chiffon, we've got wool, we've got jersey. We've got this beautiful kind of iridescent looking print on Karina. I believe these are by Givenchy. aespa are Givenchy brand ambassadors. And when we look at the shapes of this pattern on Karina, I thought it was iridescent at first and it was reflecting lights, but looking at some of the videos from online, it is a print. And when we look back to their most recent airport fashion where they flew to New York, it's very similar to what Giselle was wearing. Giselle's outfit from that was actually my least favorite, but I think here Giselle's look is my favorite. I love the silhouette where she's snatched in at the waist with that belt and then it skims over her hips, and then she's got the very skinny leather trousers on with that chunky heeled boot. I believe it's actually a wedge. It's just such a great silhouette. The hair in bunches and then the little cut out on the chest, just that little bit of flesh really breaks through and contrasts against the black. When I think of aespa, I always think of incredibly smart styling, and it's always styling pushed to the max, and this is a fantastic red carpet look for them, and you can see that there are elements tying their looks together as a group. Winter and Giselle have the belts at the waist, and Winter's look is very exaggerated on the shoulders, but then that A-line skirt is coming out at the same width as the shoulders. And then when you look at Karina and Ning Ning, they've got the asymmetrical skirts going on. Ning Ning's coming across the knee, cascading from her right to her left like this. And then Karina's has that like waterfall effect. It's just these little details that are really making this cohesive. I'm gonna give aespa 10 black hearts. Very fitting for these looks. This is just the perfect red carpet look for aespa. It's very their style, very their vibe. Probably one of my favorite looks from the night. I think I've already said that. Moving on to Enhypen, I really love this contemporary menswear vibe that they're giving. These are very contemporary silhouettes. The fact that all of them are in the wide leg trousers, they've all got a chunky boot on, a chunky shoe on, and then the trousers are sitting right at the waist. They've got the shirt tucked in, that long wide tie. And then what I really like is how all of the jackets have this varsity vibe going on. We have styles that are more of a classic varsity jacket. Then we've got the varsity style blazers where they've got Enhypen branded across the front of them. And then we've got the blazers that have the rib detail on the collar, the cuff, and then that varsity style sleeve. I think it's really clever that the fact they're tying this style of red carpet back into their most recent comeback, Tamed Dashed, which had that college varsity theme to it. What I really like is the tone of red. It's this really deep, saturated ruby red, and the way it's been photographed, I can't tell if it's a velvet or a silk, but I'm leaning more towards a silk. It's more in keeping with that varsity style. You don't really see a velvet varsity style jacket, so that's my reasoning behind it. The only thing I'm unsure of is the black blazers with Enhypen written on them. I understand why. When it comes to varsity style items, there's always the team name, the football name on them, and Enhypen is the team, but personally, I don't think you need to put your like group name on your clothing at a red carpet. It goes with the concept, but I personally don't like it. It's the only thing that I don't like about this look. Everything else, perfection. The boot, the trousers, the different varsity elements in the tailoring. I'm gonna give Enhypen 9 black hearts. Perfect looks, perfect silhouettes. It's just that Enhypen on the black blazers that I'm not sold on. Next up, we have Stray Kids, and I'll admit when I first saw these looks, I was like, oh, come on now. Because I remember at the Fact Music Awards, I felt that they'd really kind of dressed themselves down for the red carpet. You know, I was like, let me give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm glad I did. I was jumping to conclusions. When we look at the photo of Stray Kids, I think it's the classic case of black on black photographing. It tends to look a bit flat, but when you watch the video of them coming up to the carpet, you get to see all of the different cuts. Everyone has a completely different cut of outfit going on. There are different details, different elements, different brooches. The first one I noticed was on Felix, the Balenciaga brooch. And then I believe Hyunjin has that little Chanel pin on the tie. It's just little elements like this that you are missing in the photograph, but the video, they're serving it up. And what's really nice about these looks in comparison to Enhypen's looks is that the silhouettes are completely different. Enhypen was giving us that oversized look, whereas Stray Kids are giving us that more slim, boxy fit. All of the jackets are very wide on the shoulders. They're quite boxy in the body, and majority of them are cropped. And then on the legs, they're giving us that very slim cut with the chunky shoe. Just such a great contemporary menswear silhouette. I think my favorite has to be Bang Chan's. I just love the shape of the jacket, and it's the collar detail of the white shirt, how it's a completely different shape on one side to the other. On one side, we've got that camp collar, the Cuban collar, and the other side, it spreads out over the jacket. And then it's the same with the jacket. It has this really interesting lapel piece that comes right down to the bottom, and it just folds in this really interesting way. And then the rest of the outfit is very minimal. So the jacket and the shirt are like the piece de resistance. I think what's really great about these looks for Stray Kids is that when you look at their stage outfits, their music video looks, it is very heavy on the branding and it is very contemporary streetwear, whereas these looks are appropriate for the red carpet. They're very chic, but then they've still got those elements of branding in there with the brooches. And it's just these little elements that take these red carpet looks and relate them back to Stray Kids' staple style. I'm gonna give Stray Kids 9 black hearts. Moving on to Itzy, we've only got 4 of the Itzy members here. I believe Yeji couldn't attend because of an injury, and Yeji is my bias, so I'm sad not to see her in this lineup. I really like this set of looks for Itzy. I'm not so mad about Leah's, I'll be completely honest. I think it is too simple compared to the other members, and it is low-key giving me that prom vibe. I think it's just the cut of it and the way that the skirt is falling. But when we look at the other members' looks, they're a bit more edgy in the silhouette and how they've been styled compared to Leah's. And do you know what I mean? You can cover Leah up and it's immediately a bit more cohesive. Whereas if you look at Leah's, there's just no elements of edge to the look like the other members. Like when we look at Rujin, we've got that really short with the thigh-high boot, and then we've got that crop top underneath with the crop jacket. It's just such a beautiful silhouette, and then you can see the jacket has those pieces cascading down, and it would tie up and wrap really beautifully, but I like the fact that they've styled it open. And then we go across to Chaeyoung, and she's got this really cute little black dress on with the puff sleeves, the heel that have the detail on them. It's just giving it a bit more, do you know what I mean? And then Eunice is my favorite. I think the way that they've styled this is so beautiful. To me, it kind of looks like a knitted dress just by the way that it's fitting her, the high neck and then the sleeve. With the sleeve that's open, you can see the poppers or the snaps going across it, and then the asymmetrical hem of the dress cascading down with that under the knee boot. It's just fantastic styling, and it really pushes it in the edgy kind of direction, which you guys know I love. So overall, great looks. I think a big improvement on their Fact Music Award looks. They were a bit dull, and after Loco and Swipe, this is the perfect styling for Itzy on the red carpet. So I'm gonna give Itzy 9 black hearts. It's just Leah's look needed like turning up a little bit. Moving on to 17, I can't tell you how happy the set of looks made me. I remember what I said about their looks at the Fact Music Awards, and I said that the suits were too classic and too similar for a group of this age. And they have switched that up. This is contemporary. Everyone has a completely different fit going on, but when you look at the textures of the tailoring, the color palette of the tailoring, it's what's keeping it cohesive. And I love the fact that we've got members in full coats, we've got members in full suits, and it's just these differences that are giving everyone an individual look. Whereas when you think back to the Fact Music Award looks, it was very like corporate classic suits, and this is far more appropriate to their age and what they deliver as a group. I'm so happy with this look and so happy for 17. I think one of my favorites has to be Woozy. I believe he's wearing Tom Brown. When we look at the suit, he's got the 3 white stripes on the left arm, which is a strong Tom Brown branding, and it's just very slick. It's a contemporary cut. The jacket is slightly cropped, the trouser is cropped, the proportions look really, really good on him, and then the fact it's been styled with the white shirt, the grey tie, it's just keeping the colour palette really, really concise. Another favourite would have to be Joshua. Please correct me if I've got that wrong, but he's just to the right of Woozy. He's got that Prada Bolero tie on, he's got the wrap jacket that's really snatched in at the waist, and then I really like how the whole outfit is black, and then we've got that white shirt contrasting, and it's just so contemporary. The bolero tie, the snatched waist, you know I'm here for that. I'm gonna give 17 10 black hearts. This is the contemporary vibes that I wanted for 17 from the Fact Music Awards. The fabrics, the cuts, just everything for this red carpet is right. Next up, we have Astro, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think it's the fact where we have denim on the red carpet, where the denim is so light wash and acid wash. To me, it just immediately makes these looks a lot more smart casual, and I just don't... I know it's only MJ and Eunwoo in the denim, but just immediately it just brings down the formality of the overall look. And then also, I'm not sure how I feel about Sana's suit. I think for me, where there's just a lot going on, it's a bit jarring on the eye, and it stands out so much compared to what the other members are wearing, because it is the only pattern on the carpet out of this set of looks. And I think it's where we have the light blue and the dark blue, and then the different stripes have been like patchworked, and then the addition of the gold buttons, there's just a bit too much going on with this suit. And when you look down the line, everyone else's outfits are very clean and quite minimal, so it makes it stand out even more. I'm gonna give Astro 6 black hearts. I feel a bit savage giving this to Astro. I really rate them as a group, and they looked so good at the Fact Music Awards. I just think these looks needed to be a bit more cohesive, and the denim for me on the red carpet, it just brings down the formality of the overall look. Whilst we're on the subject of Astro, let's talk about Eunwoo's second red carpet look. This slaps. I love the fact that he comes on with the group and then he comes back on a second look to represent himself as an actor, and I love this. I think looking at the texture, it's really confusing. I think where it's got the texture and the embossing in the fabric, to me, it does photograph like velvet, but then when you zoom in, it doesn't necessarily look like velvet. It's really interesting. But this is what I love about this suit. It's the textures of it and the embossing of the fabric. It's so beautiful, and it just gives it all these different tones of grey. And then the fact that it's been styled with that grey roll neck underneath, so it does let the textures of the suit do all of the talking. And even though this suit has all of the beautiful textures going on, the actual cut of it's really interesting. We can see that it is a shawl lapel, which is where the lapel is just one piece. There's no collar piece, it's all the lapel. And it's wrapping just so ever slightly over the center front. This look is just really thought about, really considered. He looks perfect in it. When does Eunwoo not look perfect, to be honest? And this deserves nothing less than 10 black hearts. BamBam slayed this red carpet for me. 10 black hearts for BamBam. I love the styling of this. And when we look at the textures, it is that black and white houndstooth texture, and it makes me think of his comeback ribbon, because that suit just blew up. Everyone associates that with the song, so I think it was a really smart choice to attend this event with this fabric. And what's really nice is how the collar piece is black, and then it's tying into the black buttons, and it's tying into that black trimming above the pockets. We can see that this suit is a DB6. It's quite a classic shape when it comes to the buttons. They're probably a bit more spread out than usual, but I feel like it's quite a contemporary shape. We've got the wide shoulder, it's quite boxy, it's fairly cropped, finishing at the top of his thigh, and it's been styled shirtless. He's got that beautiful necklace tying into the watch, and then that drop earring. They all look like they've been iced out with loads of diamonds. It's rich, it's opulent. And then the addition of the sunglasses. I like the fact that it's not a sunglass that's like completely blacked out on the carpet. You can see his eyes through it, and it really works with the tones of the outfit. 10 black hearts for BamBam. You'd expect nothing less from BamBam. He knows. He knows. Moving on to Everglow. This is another one where I feel like we're lacking cohesion. I feel like the only thing that is cohesive about these looks is the fact that they're predominantly black, but other than that, there's a lot of different textures going on, there's lots of different accessories, and overall the styling just isn't working together as a group for me. As individual looks, yes, they're nice, they fit nice, they're accessorized well, but when you're presenting as a group on the red carpet, for me it needs to be a cohesive group look, and this is lacking that cohesion. My favorite look, I believe, is on Sion, and it's this beautiful tulle dress, and it has that nice square neckline with that slight sweetheart shape. It's the long sleeves, and then on one side you can see that the skirt is layered, and then on the other side it's not. It's just a really interesting silhouette, and it's giving different levels of density to the sheerness of the dress. I think it's really interesting. And then that patent like pointed toe boot, it really works with the style of the dress, but this is where I'm saying it lacks cohesion. There's no one else in the group that's wearing this fabric or a similar style of boot. When you think back to aespa, you had Ning Ning that had a sheer quality to her dress, and then you had Winter that had sheer qualities to her outfit, so it tied them all together. Whereas here, that's what this is lacking. I'm gonna give Everglow 7 black hearts. It's a good set of looks, but there's no cohesion. Moving on to Kang Daniel. Again, I find this really interesting because when I think of Kang Daniel's MVs, the fashion is very urban, it's very contemporary, paranoia. The fashion in that is so stunning and like out there. But when it comes to the red carpet, I feel like he does lean more classic. Thinking back to what he gave us at the Fact Music Awards, it was very classic. I feel like this is a slightly more contemporary version of that when we're looking at the cut of the suit, the wide shoulders, the boxy shape, the fact that it's quite cropped, it's double-breasted, it's wrapping. To me, this looks like a DB4, and we can see that it has got that pattern where the 2 buttons that actually fasten are closer together, and then the top 2 are spread further apart. And you can see that it's got this white piping detail, which contrasts really nicely. Looking at the fabric, it does look velvet, which is a classic style of jacket for an event. So it is a classic that's been given a contemporary twist. He looks very handsome. I love this hair color on him, this like warm, light, sandy brown. So I am gonna give him 9 black hearts. I just want to see him giving us that like contemporary vibe because I love it. Moving on to the boys serving up this beautiful monochromatic moment. I stand the boys. The way that they dance. Oh, Maverick, the Stealer. Yes. And this is what this styling is giving me. It's giving me red carpet, but it does lean a bit more casual. But I think it's the way that it's been styled with the elements of streetwear. The Prada t-shirt, the printed shirt that's been worn over the t-shirt, the houndstooth sweatshirt that's been tucked into the trousers. It is very much the boys' style and it is still giving me red carpet, but it's just leaning ever so slightly more casual. And I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. I'm just observing. When I look at the boys' styling, it does give me a Stray Kids kind of vibe, like how I was saying that they're known for branding. There is a very strong aesthetic when you think of Stray Kids, and the same when you think of the boys. They have a very strong aesthetic when it comes to their MVs, and we're seeing that come through here. And there's also the obvious branding. Chanel pins, Prada jumpers, Prada belts. So it's all tying together very, very nicely. And the amount of black and white for me is just perfectly balanced. We have more looks that have more white, looks that are all black, looks that have hints of white, and they've all got different elements of hardware coming through. I just think it's really clever. And again, thinking back to the Fact Music Awards, the boys were styled impeccably, and to see them on another red carpet styled perfectly, it makes me happy. A great example of the hardware I'm talking about, I believe it's Q. Feel free to correct me if I got that wrong, but you can see that the way that the shirt is done up, it's not traditional buttons. It looks like large hook and eyes, and they're spaced very closely together. And I love this. This is an element of corsetry lingerie, and it's been placed on a man's shirt, and just elements like this. But yeah, Q's has to be one of my favorites. Another favorite has to be Kevin's. Very clean, very simple, but I love the shape of the tie. I believe it's more of a scarf that's been tied like that than a traditional tie. And then I can't work out if it's a pin or like a necklace at the top. Like the way the camera's moving too fast, it's not focused, but for me, it's tying back into those collars in the Maverick MV. And again, just anything that ties back and like promotes what you've just released. Clever. I'm gonna give the boys 10 black hearts. I love these looks, perfectly balanced, and all of the accessories, the fact that it's just the epitome of the boys' aesthetic. I'm here for it. Moving on to Yuri from God's Generation, I'm guessing that she's wearing BamBam, judging from the giant B on the belt, and looking at the shape of the shoulder as well, it's not as exaggerated as BamBam usually is with their shoulder pads, but it's an incredibly sharp shape that's really exaggerating the structure of her shoulders. But I really like this. It's very simple and clean, but the sharpness of the tailoring, the way it fits her, the gold buttons, the gold B, I feel like it is very appropriate for the red carpet. She looks absolutely beautiful in it. I do like the fact that she's got the earrings, she's got the swept back hair. I don't feel like she needs the necklace. It is very minimal and it is gold with white or diamonds reflecting the light in it, so it ties into the color palette. But I feel like with the style of dress, you don't need it. We could lose it and it will keep it incredibly clean. But I like this on her. It's nothing inventive. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but she does look beautiful. So I'm going to give her 8 black hearts. Wonho, moving on to Wonho. I will admit I'm disappointed with this. It is really boring. I'm just gonna say it. I love Wonho. I like his music. He's sexy as fuck. We all enjoy his first traps. And think back to the tailoring he wore in Open Mind. It had this sexy contemporary edge to it. Shirtless, the chains, the oversized fits. And this is just too classic. It's making him look older than he is, in my opinion, at least anyway. I feel like this is the kind of suit that you could wear to work, or you could wear to like a work event. It's not red carpet for music awards for me. He looks good. Of course he's gonna look good in a suit. Like, come on, it's Wonho, but it's just, come on. The man is hot. Give him some contemporary, sexy edge to his styling. This is far too corporate and old for Wonho. I'm gonna give Wonho 6 black hearts, and that hurts. Just rip the top half of the outfit off of him. Swiftly moving on to Doyoung from NCT. I love this. There's definitely a black and a white vibe going on. A memo was 100% sent round. I love this jacquard suit. A jacquard suit, when it comes to event wear, again, it's another classic, and zooming in, it's giving me a paisley or like a brocade kind of vibe. And I like the fact that it's black on black. It's very subtle, and the way that it's photographing is incredibly well because it's picking up all of the detail. I like the fact that we've got the black shirt underneath and the black bow tie. I feel like you don't need the bow tie. I feel like it would have lent a lot more contemporary without it, but the bow tie works. It gives it that classic kind of staple event wear edge that I do really like. And overall, he just looks very handsome and classic. It fits well. And I just like the fact that we've gone for this black on black jacquard. It's very sleek, very sexy. So I'm gonna give Doyoung, I'm gonna give him 9 black hearts. If he didn't have the bow tie, I think I would have pushed it to a 10, but he looks fantastic. Next up, we've got Brave Girls, and again, this is another one I'm disappointed by. I don't understand. I like the fact that this is cohesive. The fact that we've got the hemlines that are pretty much all the same length, a very similar cut of dress. It does automatically make it cohesive. But again, this is another one that's quite boring. There's nothing interesting about these black dresses. This is more of a cocktail dress. There's nothing wrong with wearing a cocktail style dress to a red carpet, but at least have a little saying going on about it. It's just, I want more. Brave Girls have had their massive song Rolling come back, and now you're just going to give me a little black dress on the red carpet. We need more. And I'm sorry, but can we talk about the shoe? The shoe on Young? No. The shoe is criminal. Criminal. It's just like cutting her off in the wrong place. The fact that you've got like the clunky strap going right across that part of your foot, it's just not flattering. It's not a flattering shoe. It does not work with the dress. This shoe is criminal. I apologize, but it is. It should be illegal. I am sorry. I'm gonna give the Brave Girls 5 black hearts. It's just not giving me what I want. I do apologize. Right, let's finish off with Kingdom. I'm not familiar with Kingdom. If you have any Kingdom recommendations, please leave them in the comments. What I like about this look for Kingdom is the fact that everyone has been doing pretty much all black looks with pops of white, whereas they were like, you know what, let's flip that on its head. And they've given us pretty much an all white vibe with the pops of black. Yes, is it bordering on a costumey side? Yes. Could this be the stage looks that they performed in? Quite probably. I do not know that information. I will look and pop it on screen if I can find out. I quite like it. It is, like I said, bordering costumey. It's not like the full chic red carpet fantasy that I want, but I just rate the fact that they've done something completely different to everyone else. It is very accessorized with the waist belts, the chains, the little harness under the suit, the jeweled shoulders. If this is their stage look on the red carpet, I am here for it, because I feel like stage looks are what excite me the most and I take the most inspiration from. And just the fact that this is full force out there, like to the max styling. This is attention grabbing. But when I think about it, I think you guys said to me in the comments that Kingdom, their whole concept is that each of them represent a different king from history. So when you think of like how over the top that kings from history used to dress, you can kind of understand the styling and it makes sense. Overall, I'm going to give Kingdom 8 black hearts. It is bordering costumey, but I just love the fact that they've gone for it full force, no apologies, and it is different to what we've seen from everyone else on the carpet. Go big or go home. It's a red carpet. I would much rather see this kind of look on the carpet than something incredibly boring. That's just my take on it anyway. Overall, the looks from the Asia Artist Music Awards just slapped. slapped. If I'm gonna pick a favorite female group look, it would have to be aespa, and if I'm gonna pick a favorite male group, it would either have to be 17 or Stray Kids. I just think 17 actually, because the way they pulled it back after what we saw from them at the Fact Music Awards just is what I needed to see. So happy, I'm happy. Please let me know in the comments who has your favorite look from today's video. But what you should do next is go check out my previous video, my aespa airport fashion review. I'll leave a little card on the top screen here, as well as a link in the description box. But thank you so much for watching. A massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed. You are amazing. And I'll see you guys in the next one.